Now comes a special address which actually goes for me after being 42 years a member of Worldchefs, former World Association of Chef Society. And for me it was a great pleasure being 8 years a president and also numerous years before as a CD, so in total about 13 years on the board, which is quite a long time. And it was not always easy. And I just want to elaborate a little bit on the past, that you know a little bit about the story, what we all have gone through. When I became a president, I wanted to do certain things. The first thing what I said, I want to have a female on every committee, which we done, and it has been implemented. And I'm very proud of that, because we are all for inclusion and we are all same. And all this, what I always say, as you can see here, despite of a color, a race, a gender, and belief, throughout all the aggression in the world, we managed in all the past years that we conducted our World Association of Chef Societies, Worldchefs, AGMs. And the first one happened electronically in 2022. In 2020. It went for 8 hours. And despite of we had COVID, it was a very great success. And it was, I believe, something very unique. Because during these times, people lost a lot of hope. Especially culinarians was without a job for 1 up to 2 years. And this, what we are going through now, is still a result of COVID and some other, I would so say, very unfortunate things what happened around the globe. On that day, I was elected again, the second time, to lead Worldchefs for another 4 years. COVID, as Charles said yesterday, was really putting up a lot of difficulties, and saying that instead of putting people off from the office, we fought it through, we hired people, and now from the beginning on, when we had 4 to 6 people in the office, we have 14 people now. And I want to say thank you to them, because they made this Congress, and they are your people which are making things together. After this thing which was called COVID, however it started, we went into the aggression with Ukraine and Russia. This caused a lot of turbulences all around the world. We are still in the middle of this, sorry, using a bad English, this shit, which actually destabilizes everyone around the world. But nevertheless, chefs went there to help. Chefs are still here. And that was the second step when I said I'm very proud of what I did. We didn't exclude anyone from our society. And therefore, we are here all united, and I'm happy about that. Because chefs cannot be held responsible for political directions which are not going right for us as chefs and the rest of the world. The latest thing what happened was, of course, Syria, and the latest coming up with Gaza and Israel. And still we as chefs have a responsibility. A big social responsibility, because we try to unite the world with the power and the love of food. And at the end of every aggression around the world, chefs are there. If you would recall that, because on a green table, there are always chefs when they're signing a peace agreement. And I'm very proud, because it's people like you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, who make that happen. And therefore, you wear a white jacket. And white is the color of what? Of peace. I'm very proud. I'm very, very proud that we started the Worldchefs Academy, a free learning platform where we went through a lot of applicants. And I'm so happy that on the day of the AGM now, the 8th language has been launched, which is Indian. So we have now the programs in 8 languages, which can help people from all around the world to get a little bit closer to the culinary industry without paying money. A big thank goes to Cornelia and all the team who made this happen, and thanks to the board that you always supported this initiative. World Cultural Heritage was one of my babies from the beginning, because I traveled the world. I was in 189 countries. I do speak 9 languages fluent, and I seen the need in supporting people which are doing food, good food, not something with this called artificial artworks or whatever. We have to go back to the roots. We have to appreciate people which are cooking in a clay pot, which are cooking actually in a wok, and doing simple food, but so tasty that it's simply amazing. And I'm very happy about that, because we as chefs, when we travel the world, we can try, we should try, and wherever you go, I just can urge you to always eat the local food, because this opens your horizon, and this at the end makes a difference in your professional career when you are going around the globe. Chefs, yeah, that's a special species of human being, absolutely. But I think it's the best profession in the world which we are in, because we can make people so easily happy, and we get actually to know immediately when we did something good, because people will say, food was good, tasted yummy, great experience. Yeah, I was very lucky saying that I work for a company as a vice president. We are doing millions of meals on a daily basis, doing all the big events, and saying that, one day there went a letter out. And this letter stated Thomas spent money without the approval of a board. And I said, of course, if a president can't approve 3,000 or 4,000 euro for a team which is going around the world, spending all their own money for their travels, I talk about Worldchef without border. And for me, I would always do this decision again, because these people traveled 8 or 10 years, helped people, and it was a pleasure for me to do that. Talking about that, I want to say thank you to my company, because they gave me all the freedom to travel the world constantly. And for the past years, they sponsored all the tickets for the entire board, for the entire offices, to travel the world and to serve you as our members. Now, I'm very, very proud what I heard yesterday from Charles. The personal experiences, what you put up and what you put into your, I so would say, entire career in serving others and putting back your family sometimes, putting back other things, just to work as a volunteer. All of the people which are sitting here, they don't get a single cent. They do it for what? I think for pleasure and to make the chef's world shine all around the globe. And I want to say thank you to my board for being always there for all of you. This Worldchefs presidency was never my aim and my goal to become a president. But I became a CD for Middle East and Africa. And there was 2-3 countries around, and you all know that. And with a lot of dedication and hard work, I brought 15 new countries to Worldchefs. And that was a hard work. I traveled 220 days a year and put all the efforts into this, what was needed to do to grow the society bigger and bigger. I think there was never a president or an ex-committee or a board which went through so many difficult situations in 4 to 8 years, which we went through. I'm very proud that we have an office in Paris now where we can direct, where we can support, and where we can work in peace and freedom, having our own, I so would say, shelter. Because as a world organization, which we are based in Hong Kong as well and in Paris, it is really important to have stability and definitely to be and have a place where you can work out from. I just can say, and I want to say one thing. I wish the next presidium and the next president all the best of luck. And always to think about one thing. Whatever you make a decision on a specific day, on a specific way, on a specific date, could be wrong. But you have to take a decision. And you have to stay to these decisions. I was once on a board, and a wise man, Dr. Billy Gallagher, said, I would like to have Thomas on this committee, and Martin knows that. And they said, why Thomas? Because he said, Thomas always thinks different. When 5 people want to go left, sometimes he say, you go right. Because he sees things different. He has a different view. And it is not a one-person thing to make a decision. It's a collective-driven direction. I so would say in a democracy where we go. Despite what people might say, how you act as a president, how tough you are sometimes and whatever, there is a board. And this board has a tone and a voice. And the president alone can't make a decision. It has to be collectively driven. And yes, of course, at the end, the blame will be swallowed by the president. So you have to be sometimes a little bit hard, a little bit soft, but always think for the good of chefs and for the good of Worldchefs. 8 years, fantastic years. 13 years on the board, fantastic years. I don't want to miss 1 day, 1 hour, or 1 minute. Because to whatever we did, we are standing, and we are actually proud of what we did. Yes, there could have been things been done better, I agree. But you always have to know the circumstances. And as Charles said, sometimes I got a day 600, 800 emails. And I want to see any one of you working this through on a daily basis, add on to his normal job. So it's a lot of dedication and hard work. But nevertheless, coming to an end, I want to say thank you very, very much to all of you that you supported us for all these years to make it happen. You still have a smile, and that means for me at least 70 to 80% was done quite well. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. It's highly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really great. Now, coming to something which I think no one likes to hear, but always a problem when it comes to your pocket financials. And just I want to say one thing, and I take this legacy after getting this standing ovation. When I took over as the president, Charles be my witness, we had not much money on our accounts. We struggled because of a lot of circumstances. But I'm very proud what you will see today. Ragnar, please.